In this video, we're going to review graphing linear inequalities. Let's keep in mind that when we're graphing lines or inequalities, we want our inequalities to be in slope-intercept form. That is, in y equals mx plus b form. Keeping in mind that our y needs to be by itself. Another thing to keep in mind as we graph our lines is to look at our inequality. We have two choices. Either it is a greater than or less than with no equal under it. Those are going to be represented by a boundary line that is dashed. If we have a greater than or less than with an equal sign underneath it, our boundary line will be a solid line. So let's take a peek at our first equation. Our first equation is y equals y is greater than or equal to 9/4 x minus 5. Our y-intercept will be -5, which means 5 down on our y-axis will be where we put our y-intercept there. Our slope is going to be 9/4. What that means is from this point on our y-intercept, we go up 9 and to the right 4. If we look at our inequality here, we have greater than or equal to. Looking at the right hand side, our little notes over here, when we have an equal to sign, that is represented by a solid boundary line. So with your ruler, you're going to take and connect these two dots with a solid line. The last portion of graphing our inequalities is to shade a half plane. A half plane is simply half of your graph. When we're looking at greater than or equal to, and I look at a point on my graph, greater than would be above the graph. So I shade in everything above my graph. Moving on to example number 2. My inequality is y is less than -7/3 x plus 3. My b would be 3, so I'm going to put a dot there. My m, let's keep in mind the negative sign goes with it, -7/3, which means I go down 7. And to the right 3. Let's keep in mind that we have a less than inequality, which means it has no equal sign. It will be represented by a dashed line. So you're going to take your ruler and draw a line that will be much straighter than mine. When we look at this inequality, it says less than. Less than our line there would be anything below. So we're going to shade our half plane that's below our line. So the couple of things to keep in mind when you're graphing are plot your y-intercept, you're going to use the slope to find a second point. After that, you decide if it's dotted or dashed or solid. And finally, decide which side to shade.